In case you missed it, new reports revealed that prosecutors have updated the evidence against YNW Melly, claiming he had no idea he was being filmed confessing to the murders of Sakchaser and Juvy. Shockingly, just 5 hours after the deadly incident, Melly was allegedly caught on camera dancing in a parking lot alongside Bortlen. This latest development could spell serious trouble for Melly as the case continues to unfold.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! But no, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing no sign of grief over the loss of his closest friends, Melly appeared completely unfazed. Unbeknownst to him, he was being filmed once again, this time just 30 minutes before the murders. Surveillance footage reportedly shows Melly leaving the studio and getting into the back left seat of the Jeep, seemingly preparing for something. Moments later, Sakchaser, Juvy, and Bortlen joined him in the vehicle.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
According to official court documents, the trajectory of the bullets traveling from left to right inside the vehicle supports the theory that the shots were fired from the back left seat, the same spot where Melly was reportedly sitting. Even Juvy's mother backed up this claim, confirming Melly's position in the car at the time of the shooting.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How's that?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Prosecutors have now repackaged the evidence to present it before a new judge, forming a fresh strategy aimed at securing a guilty verdict against Melly. As part of this plan, they've reportedly struck deals with both Bortlen and Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton. Mariah was originally scheduled to testify during Melly's first trial, but fled the country and remained overseas for the past 3 years. Her sudden disappearance made her a wanted figure by law enforcement, as her testimony was expected to be crucial in the case against Melly.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
In order to secure her release, Mariah Hamilton was required to agree to testify in the YNW Melly case. Shortly after, she took to Facebook, writing, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." But now, things have taken a more serious turn. Federal authorities claim they have evidence that Melly attempted to tamper with Mariah as a witness before his first trial. This has led to an entirely new charge against him, one that could result in a life sentence, regardless of whether he's found guilty of killing Sakchaser and Juvy.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering charge is entirely separate from the murder case, but it's had serious consequences for Melly. Since being hit with the tampering charge, he's been banned from using jail phones for over a year. The situation got so extreme that even Melly's mother addressed it publicly during an interview, expressing concern over the restrictions placed on her son.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
If the evidence of witness tampering is legitimate, it explains why Melly has been banned from using jail phones. But what truly puts him at risk of a life sentence is what Bortlen might do next. As someone deeply tied to the case, Bortland holds the power to completely destroy Melly's defenses, especially if he decides to flip and testify against him, and that possibility is more real than most think. Considering Melly already tried to throw Bortland under the bus during the first trial, when his own lawyer pointed the finger at him in court.
Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
During the first trial, Melly's lawyer revealed that Bortland had allegedly lied to federal agents, stating that he was the last person seen with Sakchaser and Juvy. Even more damaging, forensic evidence reportedly showed that Bortland had gunpowder residue on his hands. One of the lead investigators later addressed these findings in detail, hinting that Bortland's involvement might be deeper than originally thought.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of hot residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of hot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was hot residue present on the hands.
Bortland was clearly upset after Melly's case ended in a mistrial. He even tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," along with a handshake emoji hinting that he might be ready to make a deal. What makes this even more alarming is that if Bortland ends up back in court alongside Melly, prosecutors are expected to use his original police interrogation from the night of the murders where he was caught lying to protect Melly as key evidence. That could be the turning point that seals Melly's fate.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Yeah.
Then you took 75.
Officers quickly realized that Bortland's story wasn't adding up, and it was only a matter of time before he got caught in a lie. If he's brought back into the trial with Melly, prosecutors are likely to highlight these inconsistencies, using his own words against him to show how he tried to cover for Melly and how his version of events ultimately fell apart.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area, and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's like...
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are my... Like,
these your 2, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yeah,
and you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, son. I don't, like, how, what do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell?
The interrogation took an even darker turn when Bortland suddenly tried to shut down the conversation altogether. His attempt to stop talking raised red flags for investigators, making the situation look even more suspicious and further weakening his credibility in the eyes of the prosecution.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
However, the officer quickly regained control of the interrogation by shifting the focus to other details from that night, asking questions like how Bortland was driving, whether he crashed into anything, and other specifics. This tactic kept the conversation going and allowed investigators to gather more inconsistencies in his story.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
As time was running out and the interrogation neared its end, the officer cut to the chase and asked directly, "If you know who did this, would you tell me?" It was a bold move meant to break through Bortland's wall of silence and see if he'd finally crack under pressure.
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay, you may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to.
But instead of answering, Bortland simply shook his head, no clearly afraid that speaking out loud might expose a lie the officer could detect. Despite all this, Melly's legal team hasn't given up. His lawyers recently submitted their final paperwork requesting bond, hoping to get him released until his next trial in September. This time, they seem more confident than ever. And even Melly himself has spoken publicly about the possibility of finally being released from jail.
Still praying. I know. I said I would give. I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know. Right now we're waiting. So basically, the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute. Or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
The latest update from Melly's legal team revealed new details about his bond proposal. His lawyers submitted a package offering an unspecified bond amount, which would be covered by his record label, 300 Entertainment. If the judge grants the request, Melly would be placed on house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and hire 24/7 private security to ensure strict supervision. The proposal was so convincing that one rapper posted, "That boy Melly coming home, I feel it." Meanwhile, Melly's attorneys, along with his mother, have claimed they possess physical evidence, proving that Melly has been mistreated while in custody, which they argue is a direct violation of his legal rights.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone.
In Melly's defense, his lawyers presented new GPS evidence to the judge, showing that Melly was actually running away from the crime scene and hiding in a nearby bush. They argued this behavior suggested he was afraid possibly of whoever carried out the alleged drive-by rather than being involved in the shooting himself. This detail was used to cast doubt on the prosecution's narrative and portray Melly as a potential victim, not the shooter.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvy? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
In an effort to prove Melly's innocence, his legal team pointed out in court that the firearm used in the crime was never recovered. They emphasized this crucial missing piece of evidence to raise doubt about the prosecution's case, arguing that without the weapon, there's no definitive link tying Melly to the actual shooting.